What is happening, everybody? By the time you see this, who knows? Could be 7 o'clock on Thursday. And is your bracket busted already? Let me just ask you that question. March Madness has begun. Are you already out of contention? Don't worry. It's still just day one. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right, just as long as your winner didn't lose already. So if you still have your champion, you still got a shot. If you still have your Final Four, you still got a shot. But we're not here to talk March Madness. We are here to talk about the Detroit Lions. And I want to talk about how they just keep getting great value in free agency. Seriously, they keep getting great value. So we're going to talk about a couple of players specifically at the cornerback position, but we're going to go over all of it. And I just want to start. We're going to go over all of it, but I want to give a couple specific examples at corner. One was somebody they signed just today. But first, I want to start by saying this. I think a lot of fans have struggled in trying to figure out, like, what is Brad Holmes doing in free agency this year? And the reality is he's doing the same thing he's done every year. He's never gone out and made a bunch of splashy signings or anything like that. He's gone out and he's gotten players that, quite frankly, come cheaper because they've been hurt, or maybe they're a little bit older, or maybe they just haven't been in the right system, or whatever that looks like, or proven guys that can help build depth. We've never had just a crap ton of money when it comes to the salary cap, but we definitely don't this year. And again, remember, what you don't spend in the salary cap this year will track over to next year. So this keeps us, and it gives us the ability to continue to have a lot of money going into next year when we have to start signing all these people. He is holding in and he is building through the draft. Now, with that being said, it didn't stop him from getting a great free agent signing. And that is, we're going to first talk about DJ Reed. All right. Based on Pro Football and Sports Network, they ranked Reed's deal among the best free agency contracts thus far. And here's why they said it. And by the way, I agree. We talked about it already. After losing Carlton Davis to the Patriots, the Lions rebounded nicely by signing DJ Reed. Reed signed for $2 million less in average annual value, but has allowed fewer yards per target than Davis in 4 of the 5 seasons since becoming a starter in 2020. Now, I want to talk to you about something. I mentioned briefly in a video DJ Reed and the possibility of him coming to Detroit. I thought it was a long shot, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't think we'd be able to get DJ Reed because I thought if we'd be able to get DJ Reed, we would just re-sign Carlton Davis. But I thought Carlton Davis was going to be too rich for us to go re-sign. So Carlton Davis is gone, and then all of a sudden, boom, you hear that DJ Reed is coming in. And remember in the beginning, it was like Carlton Davis is at 60 million, DJ Reed's at 48. And you're like, what is going on? We just assumed DJ Reed would make more money than Carlton Davis. He's been a better corner. In fact, in the same article, you can see it right here. It says DJ Reed ranks third among DBs in yards per target allowed since 2020. He is trailing only L'Jarius Sneed and Pat Surtain, all right, the second. His new deal ranks him 18th among corners in average annual value. A reasonable spot considering he's still only 28 years old. So we got a corner who is allowing the third least amount of yards per target at the 18th contract. That is very good value when you look at a contract. And that is the type of stuff that you look at that you have to agree. Like, that's a really good deal. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look real quick at our cornerback room. I think a lot of us looked and we saw, all right, so we got DJ Reed, right? And Amick Robertson. Okay, so that's where your experience comes in. Then you got Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. What do we have after that? We need to go out and we need to sign a veteran, or we need to sign somebody that can play. We lost Kindle Vildor, which, by the way, he's not a bad player. Kindle Vildor is not a bad player. I think a lot of us just kind of really feel badly about him because, well, the game against the 49ers in the playoffs. And it was a really bad looking play that worked out to be a touchdown for them. We have gone out and signed a guy called Rock Ya-Sin. All right. He's a guy who was drafted by the Colts. he has played a decent corner since being drafted. He had all the tools, but has always been just a pretty decent cornerback. He's never been phenomenal. He rounds out the cornerback room. So now you have the two young guys. You have Rakestraw and Arnold as the young guys. And then you have DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, and Rock Ya-Sin that are all going to be available as kind of like your depth pieces. Rock Ya-Sin, to me, this is the Emmanuel Mosley replacement. This is a guy who's been a solid corner in this league, but has never, been able to get the chance to just play a ton. Here's the deal. When you look at him based on PFF and his defensive ranks, he's always rated as an okay corner, right? Here's your total snap counts. Until he played for San Francisco last year, there were some injuries the last couple of years. The Brad Holmes special, getting injuries. I mean, he was playing, 853 as a rookie, played well, struggled a little bit in his sophomore year, but then put together 3 pretty good years. Then he's been hit by a little bit of the injury bug. And so I really do think that, like, this is a guy that, if needed in a pinch, could absolutely do a good job filling in. Better than I think a Khalil Dorsey would do. Better than I think a Kendall Vildor would do. I think he could hold his own. I think we would have been much better off last year in the playoffs against the Commanders when Amik Robertson went down right away if Rock Ya-Sin was able to come in. I'm just being honest. He will be a better cover guy. But these guys, DJ Reed and Rock Ya-Sin, those are just an example of, like, look at all of these guys who we've signed. DJ Reed, yes, great value. Roy Lopez, great value. $4 million. Why not? Grant Stewart, good value. Kenny Yeboah, Kyle Allen. Like, all these guys are either depth, but we're paying almost nothing. And remember, it is your 51 top contracts that count. It's the top 51. So some of these guys won't even go against the cap. And then Derek Barnes, when you started seeing the money handed out toward it to injured linebackers, like, all of a sudden you're like, all right, that was actually pretty good money for him. Levi Onwuzurike up to $5.5 million, but it's closer to $4 million. Are you kidding me? In a prove-it deal? Marcus Davenport, $4.5 million. Tim Patrick, $4.5 million. I don't know the numbers on Skip yet. Like, we bring back Nowaski. We bring back Ezekiel Turner, Anthony Pittman, Miles Adams, Mitchell Agude. None of these guys cost a lot of money, but they are all guys that can play in a pinch. They're good depth guys with a couple of guys who are starting caliber players. Levi Onwuzurike will be in the rotation at defensive tackle, and he may even start the year with Aleem McNeil out. I don't know. Same with Roy Lopez. He has the ability to have starter caliber skill, but being paid like a quality backup. I love that. Derek Barnes, starter. DJ Reed, starter. Like, let's not forget this, but also remember, again, 15-2 team. We still have an entire draft. So some people are looking at the free agent signings and they're like, we still need this on the defensive edge. We still need this in the corner room, or we still need this on the offensive line. We have 6 or 7 draft picks. Trust Brad Holmes. We have very few positions on the offensive line. What do we need? Depth. We need a backup interior lineman and maybe a tackle backup, but we just re-signed Skip. At wide receiver, all we need is some depth, but we're getting Antoine Green back from whatever that head concussion, neck, I don't know what it was, injury. On the defensive line, like tight end, we're set. On the defensive line, on the defensive interior, we're set. We're 4 or 5 deep on that. We just want maybe another depth piece. You think you can find a depth piece in the draft? We have more linebackers than we know what to do with. I would say our cornerback room is set right now if we need it to be. And then we just need maybe another depth piece, a bench piece in the secondary. This is a team that is ready-made. So you didn't need to go out and go crazy in free agency and spend money you don't have and lock up money for years to come that you don't have. Really smart stuff. Keep getting great value in free agency, and sometimes that's by not spending. All right, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy March Madness. Hopefully your bracket isn't busted. We'll see you on the next one.